Hi children, welcome to class 12 Health and Physical Education online class. Today we are going to learn about the causes and prevention of sports injuries and also the aims and objectives of first aid from unit 7 Physiology and Injuries in Sports. Causes of sports injuries. Children, there are many causes of sports injuries. Here I have explained about 7 important causes of sports injuries. The first main cause of sports injuries is improper warming up. Improper warming up and conditioning will lead the athlete to injury. If the athlete perform proper warming up and conditioning, they can avoid sports injuries. The second cause is unscientific way of training. The athlete should have proper knowledge about the overtraining and undertraining. When the athlete ignore of scientific laws, he or she may be easily injured. The third cause is lack of fitness. The fitness is not only physical fitness, it means physiological and psychological fitness too. If a player is not anatomically, physiologically, and psychologically fit, the athlete may be affected by any sports injuries anytime. The fourth cause is nutritional inadequacy. Lack of proper nutrients in food also may be a cause of sports injuries. If the player is having lack of calcium or vitamin D, it will lead the athlete to bone injury. So maintaining proper nutrition is good to avoid injuries. The fifth cause of injury is lack of sports facilities. If the ground is not smooth and clean, it may cause to sports injuries. So, having proper sports facility may help the athlete to avoid the injuries like sprain and strain. The sixth cause of injury is injurious officiating. If a referee is biased, there may be maximum chances of injuries to players during the match. So, proper officiating is very important to avoid sports injuries. The seventh important cause of injury is no use of protective equipments. There are many delicate organs in human body whose safety is necessary. So, using proper protective equipment is a very important one to avoid injuries in the field of sports. The quality of protective equipment is also very important to escape from sports injuries. So these are all the causes of sports injuries. Now we will learn about the prevention of sports injuries. The first point to prevent sports injuries is proper warming up and conditioning. Before any competition or training, warming up is compulsory and essential. A proper warming up should be at least 10 minutes. It includes stretching, jogging, slow running, and movement exercises. Proper conditioning is also essential to prevent injuries. Weight training and circuit training are very good methods of proper conditioning. It will improve neuromuscular coordination, which is helpful to prevent sports injuries. The second point is balanced diet. Always have balanced diet to prevent sports injuries. Lack of vitamins and minerals may cause the human body weak. So it is very essential to take balanced diet. The third point is proper knowledge of sports skills. A sports person should be efficient in performing the related sports skills. For example, the knowledge of landing skill is very important for a high jumper. Otherwise, it will lead him to injury. So, the player should have the proper knowledge about the sports skills. The fourth point is use of protective equipment. The protective equipments protect the athletes from various injuries. So, it is very important to use the protective equipment while doing practice and also while participating in competitions. The fifth point is don't do overtraining. If the athlete is beginner for a new exercise program, it is important not to perform too much immediately because overtraining may cause sports injuries. If you are not performing training for long time, the strenuous physical activity may cause injury. So don't perform overtraining at all. The sixth point is use of proper technique. If the athlete use proper technique while playing, the athlete can avoid injuries. Learning techniques of their particular game from qualified coach is very important to all the athletes. The seventh point is proper cooling down. After every practice and competition, performing cool down is compulsory to prevent injuries. Perform cooling down exercise at least for 10 to 15 minutes. Perform some aerobic activity like jogging and slow running, and perform some stretching exercise for at least 5 minutes. It will help in removing the waste product such as lactic acid, acid phosphate, etc. from the muscles. So these are the important points to prevent sports injuries. The another important topic we are going to learn is first aid. First aid is the first help which is given to the wounded or accidental victim before the arrival of the doctor. It is the immediate and temporary care given to a victim of an accident. In the field of sports, injury is common. Any player can be injured during practice or competition. The physical education teachers also should have enough knowledge of first aid so that physical education teacher provide first aid to the player at the time of training and competition. Aims and objectives of first aid. The main aim of first aid is to try to save the precious life of the wounded person. Now let us learn the objectives of first aid. The first objective is to preserve life. To preserve or to save the life of the wounded person is the important objective of first aid. There are limitations, but every possible effort is done to save the life of the wounded person. The second objective is alleviate pain and suffering. The pain is natural in any type of accident. The pain is unbearable in case of fracture or dislocation of joint. So it is very important to reduce the unbearable pain. The third objective is to prevent the condition from worsening. To prevent the condition from worsening becomes the major objective of first aid. When the first aid is provided, the wounded person condition does not worsen while taking the person to the doctor for further treatment. The fourth objective is to promote recovery. Promoting recovery is the main objective. The treatment also may be included in promoting recovery. The fifth and last objective is to produce early medical aid. The first aider should pay attention to provide proper first aid to the wounded person at the same time. At the same time, the efforts should also be taken to seek medical help as early as possible. Children, these are the main objectives of first aid. Thank you, children. Have a good day.